Alexander Bednov, better known by his callsign Batman, was born on August 27, 1969, in the city of Lugansk, eastern Ukraine. Before the war, he served in law enforcement and later worked in private security. However, it wasn't until the outbreak of the war in eastern Ukraine in 2014 that he became widely known after creating his own armed unit, the Rapid Response Group called Batman, because he looked like the Batman from the movies. During the first months of the conflict, Bednov quickly gained a reputation as one of the most ruthless and uncompromising field commanders. His fighters took part in battles, detained suspected enemies, and carried out independent operations. But before long, the name Batman became associated not only with the front lines, but also with the serious criminal allegations, according to the prosecutors in the self-proclaimed Luhansk People's Republic. Bednov's unit had evolved into an armed force that operated largely outside the control of the authorities. Investigators claim his men established an illegal detention facility where civilians were held without trial or any legal process. People suspected of espionage, looting, or disloyalty were locked in basements, beaten, tortured, and forced to confess. Prosecutors also said that one detainee died while being held by the group. But North and several of his closest associates are also accused of kidnapping civilians for ransom, extortion, armed robbery, and conducting illegal raids. According to media reports and statements from LPR officials, his fighters had seized cars, trucks, fuel, food, supplies, construction equipment, cash, and other property from civilians under the pretext of military necessity. Some business owners claim they lost warehouses, equipment, and even entire businesses after visits from armed members of the unit. After criminal proceedings were opened against him, LPI prosecutors stated that searches of locations linked to Bednov uncovered large couches of weapons and ammunition, as well as property they alleged had been taken illegally from civilians. Bednov strongly denied every accusation. He insisted that his unit was fighting saboteurs, criminals, and looters, and claimed the criminal case against him was politically motivated because of his growing conflict with the LPR leadership. By the end of 2014, the conflict had become impossible to hide. Bednov openly criticized LPR leader Igor Plotnitsky, accusing the leadership of corruption, abuse of power, and betraying the ideals for which the uprising had begun. According to his supporters, he refused to fully subordinate his unit to the new authorities and resisted efforts to disarm. On December 30th, 2014, LPR prosecutors officially opened a criminal case against Bitnov, accusing him of unlawful imprisonment, kidnapping, torture, extortion, armed robbery, and illegal weapons possession. Authorities announced that he will be arrested and brought to justice. He never made it to court. On the morning of January 1st, 2015, Bednov's convoy was ambushed near the town of Holotukhune. According to the official LPR version, security forces attempted to stop the convoy and arrest him, but Bednov refused to surrender, opened fire, and was killed along with several of his fighters during the ensuing gun battle. His supporters told a completely different story. They claimed there had been no attempt to arrest him at all, arguing instead that the convoy had been lured into a carefully planned ambush and destroyed with heavy weapons. Several former separatist commanders later described the operation as political assassination, claiming the criminal charges were merely a legal pretext to eliminate a powerful rival. Following Bitnov's death, his unit was rapidly disarmed and dissolved. Some of its members were arrested, while others joined different armed formations. The story of Alexander Batman Bednov remains one of the most controversial chapters of the war in Donbas. To some, he was a peerless battlefield commander who challenged a corrupt leadership. To others, he was a man accused of grave crimes against civilians, just another gangster in a camouflage.